What's up, guys? I couldn't get my live to be livin'. How are you? How was your day? It was an interesting day. It was a very interesting day. We're going to fix that. We're going to light some incense. We're going to do some things. I'm doing some unique readings tonight. As you can see, I have a few very pretty things in front of me. I have a piece of, I never can say this right, Vandana night. I never can say it right. Vandana banana. Vandana banana. And I will pick this one up and show you because the camera does not do it justice. This is one of my favorite pieces. I got it at the Denver Gem Show last year. And yes, you can see through it. I also have this gorgeous piece right here, which is all record keeper quartz that someone gifted to me. This is one of my most fabulous pieces that I have. I have a very intense piece of Epido right here that I also grabbed at the Denver Gem Show, and you can see a little bit of quartz. I have a crystal skull for help. I have an ortho that I can't pronounce either, but this one is one of my favorites because it has a Thunderbird on it. But this piece right here, I'm going to show you. I'm explaining to you what they are. So that way, when I do these reads and you guys see how I'm doing them and so on, you understand. This piece right here, I also got at the Denver Gem Show last year. And this is like awesome. So this is pyrite, quartz, a tiny bit of Epido, and a lot of prehnite, all on a lodestone. It's heavy as fuck. I'm trying to be careful to not drop it. The camera does not do it justice, and I'm not upset about that. None of these are for sale. These are my personal pieces. None of them are for sale. So before anybody asks, none of them are for sale. So what I'm going to be doing tonight are called astral thread readings. I've already got my list up here ready to go. In fact, let me just move my list over here. Let me just move my list over here. I've already got my list up here ready to go. There are still a few spots left if you want to get on the list. The way I'm going to do this is a little different. It's a little unique. So let me tell you what these are for. So this right here, this big record keeper, there are a ton of record keepers in this piece. This is Akashic wisdom for the basic. Okay. This one right here is focus and stamina. I've got my little cheat sheet up there. Epido is for amplification. It's also for clearing. And then this one right here is manifestation, guidance, magnetism, bringing things into you, right? So we're going to see where your thread falls. I decided to use a ribbon, a little black ribbon, because the thread I wanted to use, I didn't like how it looked. I was just being bougie. I didn't like how it looked. So we're not going to do that. We're going to use this really thin black ribbon. And yeah, let's get on with it. Y'all get to see me in the glasses tonight because it is what it is. Y'all get to see me in the glasses tonight. I have a couple other reads up for this week. And if y'all want to get in on them, you should. Let me turn my phone off. You should. I'm just saying. You'll see. I'm just saying. But in the meantime, Amber is first. I'm going to start working through my list, and this will be on YouTube tomorrow for you guys. One of the things I do want to ask is that if you're here hanging out and you do some likies on the screen, I would appreciate it. We'll see what happens. We'll see if I get the restriction. Again, I don't understand why. It's not just me. It's a lot of spiritual creators are getting a restriction saying, I don't know. It's dumb. And in my opinion, the reason that they're doing it is so they can make us move to a business account. I had a business account when I first started on TikTok, and I moved away from it really quickly because they stifle everything you do. They stifle everything you do, and they want you to pay for everything. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So make sure you guys follow me everywhere, just in case. Make sure you're following me on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on all of the things. We're going to talk about it too much because then they're going to say something else. But anyway, all right, Amber, are you ready? You ready? So yours kind of comes down, loops all the way around and back up, and it ends up here, really over that gorgeous piece of pyrite. I love that this comes right up alongside this really gorgeous point right there. Like, exactly. It doesn't fully go over the epidote. It just sits right there. And it doesn't go over this. It does slightly right there, but it just sits on the side. So here's what I'm going to say. Not only are you someone that holds an intense amount of Akashic wisdom, you hold an intense amount of, I'm going to say notoriety. We're going to call it that, notoriety in the Akashic realm, in the astral realm. And when I say Akashic realm, I mainly mean the areas that contain the Akashic records. So it's not just the library itself. There are other areas around it, but that's a whole class. You hold an intense amount of wisdom. You just don't know how to get it out. You need to really focus on clarification. You need to focus on amplifying that stuff as well. And here's what I'm going to recommend as far as amplification goes. When it comes to stones, epidote is always a good one, but epidote is a little expensive. Clear quartz is a good one because clear quartz is going to help you see things clearly. Fluorite is also another good one. But that's not all you need to do. To be able to really tap into all of the Akashic wisdom that you carry, to be able to tap into every single thing, all of the knowledge stuff that you can't words correctly. You need to start really intensely studying, reading, etc., about the Akashic records, about the Akashic fields, about the astral itself. And I would highly recommend looking at things from the hermetic side of two aspects, the hermetic side of magic and also the tree of life, the Kabbalistic side of magic. Both of those are going to help you with words, the actual words and terms of different items, of different beings, of things that you're seeing that you don't know how to explain. They're also going to help you with the symbols that you're seeing that you don't know how to explain. I would not be surprised to know, especially with the way that this is like this. We're going to talk about this in a minute because I like this part a lot. The way that this encapsulates this big part of this quartz, I would not be surprised to know that you love sacred geometry, you love fractals, you love anything at all that reminds you of a natural sigil. And I think that there's a lot of them that you dream about, that you see, I almost said when you're out of it, but I hope that made sense. And I didn't mean that in a negative way. Just sometimes when we zone out and we just get these things in our head, these symbols, etc., I think that you see them a lot. By learning about different aspects of hermetic magic and learning about different aspects of the Kabbalistic tree of life and things like that, I think you're going to see where those are coming from and actually have a name to put with the face of it. There's a reason that you always have felt like, I don't want to say different because different is not the word, separated. There we go. You have always kind of felt separated. Even if you're with somebody that they're y'all have about the same IQ. Y'all have had the same life experiences. You feel like this person's on an even playing field with you and vice versa. You still feel different. You still feel disconnected. You still feel over here. There's a reason for that. I think that your DNA is carrying a lot more Akashic wisdom than you realize. But let's talk about this right here, where this comes up the lodestone like that. My friend. And I know when I say this, you're going to be like, well, why don't I see it right now? You're an intensive manifester. I almost would rather be an intensive manifester than a more like abundant manifester. An intensive manifester is somebody that, let's say you're manifesting a better job. That's it. Just a better job. Okay. You're going to end up manifesting your dream job without saying the words dream job. Whereas somebody that is more of an abundant manifester, they might get a new job and then a side job and then another job and then another job. Like they might manifest 9 jobs where you have manifested your dream job with amazing pay. Do you see what I'm saying? You manifest on a solid level, on really solid ground. This is why it feels like a lot of times your manifestations don't seem to hit like you think they should. You did all the work. You said all the words. You used all the ingredients. You did everything you were supposed to. They're not going to hit as much because I think that words are a big issue. I think that words are a big part of it because I started to get drawn right back to this. You studying those things and having the correct terms and some of the correct symbols and so on to see or to use, that is when this is going to come up right here. That is when this is going to come up right there. Does this make sense, Amber? I think you just need the correct words, the correct terminology. And then you're going to see so much sense. Okay, good. And then you're going to see this intensive manifestation power that you have. Because I know when I said you're an intensive manifester, you were like, am not. am not. But I'll bet that when you do it for other people, it's almost overwhelming. Am I correct? And I don't think you do it for other people a lot. I think you've scared yourself with it in the past and you don't do it for other people a lot. Which I totally understand. Yourself at times and you're in real. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad that this made sense. I'm just like, nah, I didn't do that. You did though. You did though. Mods, I guess I don't need to tell you that it's a no tolerance night. I guess I don't need to tell you that it's a no tolerance night. Oh my gosh. Colton has been a subscriber for a year. Holy crap. Thank you, Colton. Yeah, it's a no tolerance night, guys. So I'm just letting you know I knew I didn't have to tell Scarly. If y'all come in and you see trolls, just don't interact with them. My mods will get them. Most of my moderators are Tauruses, and they are super happy to mute, block, etc. They're super, super happy to do all of that. So there's just a few rules for those of you guys that are new. Obviously, we are throttled this evening, and it is what it is. There's just a few rules for those of you guys that are new. The first one is that don't be a creep, because even creeps don't like creeps. The second one is that we don't talk about politics in here. The third one is that we don't talk about other creators, especially in a negative light. And the last one is that we don't co-read. That's kind of it. Just come hang out. Just sit. Come hang out and sit. Just sit. That's it. So What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hi, hi, hi. All right. Amber, I hope that made sense. Remember what I said. Look at Hermetic magic, especially the symbolic, the symbols, and then look at the Kabbalistic magic and the tree of life. And I guarantee you're going to find the right words. You're going to see symbols that you've been seeing in your dreams and so on. And yeah, you took notes. Good. Good. I will have this up on YouTube in the morning for you guys too. It seems like it's taking a little longer for things to download, and I'm just letting it do what it's doing. You had dreams that you realized were Akashic record related. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good. Oh, thank you. I'm glad y'all are enjoying my videos, especially about Hecate. As we get closer to Halloween, to Samhain, I'll put out some more videos. Because somebody always asks, there's not a specific deity that I work with hardcore all the time. I've had a few in and out of my life ever since I can remember, but I have always been like the mediator. Does that make sense? Between people and deities. Like, just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hecate is an interesting one. Y'all are going to hear people pronounce her name multiple ways. And I just want you to remember that she's Greek. She is a Greek deity. So it's not Hakat. It is Hecate. The way that it is pronounced is Hecate. All right. Miss Olga, are you ready? I have incense going over here, so we'll cleanse the ribbon before. Ready? Let me not get my fingernail caught in it while ago. Wow. That totally made a heart. I know that, look, y'all can't see the end of it because it comes down here. That is a perfect. Trying to get a picture. It literally made a perfect heart. You can't make this shit up. All right, Olga. Miss Ma'am. You are very, verily, you're verily, life is but a dream. Anyway, you are very talented in matchmaking. Very talented in matchmaking. And so here's what sucks. People that are usually very talented in matchmaking usually do not have solid relationships. If you have relationships at all, if you even consider dating. You, my friend, all of the ribbon, except for like one little tiny piece right here, is in this middle. You are amazing at matchmaking. You are amazing at knowing which people are going to be together for a long time. You are amazing at being like, that is not going to work out, and always being right. I love that a little bit of it is right here because this is focus and stamina. If you were to just focus on that a little bit, Miss Ma'am, girl. This is an amazing talent. This is an amazing talent. And it comes from two places in the Akashic records. See how the ends fell perfectly like that? One is a place of really deep longing, a deep pain, deep trauma, etc. So in other words, your soul, you have seen kind of the worst of the worst that can happen, the worst of the worst that people can do to each other, etc. This right here, this is hope. This is buried down in these crystals. Okay. That's why on camera, it looks the way it does. It fell down in there. This one sits up. Like I can legit put my fingernail underneath all of it. This is hope. So you come from, your soul comes from a very unique place. I don't really know what the best place is to tell you to look at matchmaking and so on. But here's my advice, because this is something that a lot of people would love to hire you, I am sure. I'm going to advise looking at different types of love magic, at love workings, at bringing in soulmates. And when I say love magic and love workings, I mean bringing in the right person. Tantric workings would also be right up your alley. Schmexy magic would also be right up your alley. So I'm going to advise looking at all of those different practices, all of them. Ones that DNA wise you're tied to are going to obviously be way stronger. Here's the other thing, and this might come as a surprise to a lot of you guys, but y'all realize that like schmexy magic, that's really a thing that was coined by Aleister Crowley, right? He utilized that very intensely to get what he wanted. He used that very intensely as offerings and so on. It's not really been a thing throughout ritualistic magic and hermetic magic and so on. He is the one that really, really started a big boost with that. So no matter what you think of him, that is where you want to go if you want to learn about that. Just saying. Other people teach it. I usually teach it around Valentine's Day, so be on the watch for that. But Olga, you are a matchmaker extraordinaire, my friend. So looking at different types of love magic, that's where your strong suit is. That is 100% where your strong suit is. I think that's pretty cool. It's cool, but it also sucks because it means that there's going to be a lot of things that you give up to be able to be good at that. And if you've already given those things up, then you might as well have the thing that you're good at. Am I right? If you've already given up relationships, you might as well have the thing you're already good at. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. It does just barely touch the epido over here. Not as much as I'd like it to. You can easily amplify this though, because that's a perfect heart. That's a perfect heart. So, in fact, I would not be surprised, Miss Olga, if you were like, you know what? This happened when I was younger, and this happened when I was younger, and I've been able to match this friend and this coworker and that I would bet that you've already been playing matchmaker all over your life and didn't even think about it being a talent. It's a talent, y'all. It is 100% a talent. I want to point out one thing. Notice how I said, even though this is great right here, and it barely touches here, it doesn't touch this, it doesn't touch this, it doesn't really touch this. You're going to have to be careful that you don't get like horse blinders with one specific thing and then get blindsided. A lot of times people that have a very intense talent, they tend to focus on just that one thing. And that's great because that's only going to make that talent better. But the problem is they forget other things. Even though you're a fantastic matchmaker and you're fantastic at love workings, and so you're going to have a lot more power behind them. You still have to work on protection. You still have to work on abundance. You still have to work on health. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to be very well-rounded with it, because if you don't, you're going to end up running yourself into the ground without any of these other things back here. I am always going to tell you guys that protection, working on abundance, bringing things in. If you guys don't have a lodestone, you should get you one. A lodestone is just a magnetic rock, basically, but it's used to bring things to you. It's used to help you align with where you're supposed to go. Lodestones are fantastic. I love me some lodestones. So when I saw this, I didn't even know it was on a lodestone. I just saw the piece and I was like, ooh. And then when he told me that it was on lodestone, I was like, here's my money. Here's my money. Here's my money. I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to the Denver Gem Show this year, because we had so much fun last year. But it's okay. I'll go next year. It's okay. I'll go next year. All right, Miss Olga. I hope that made sense. I didn't see if she was here or not. I didn't. So if she is or isn't, let's let me know. Well, I guess you know what I'm saying. My brain is not braining correctly this evening. It's great. All right. All right. Christy M is next. Now yours is a little different. Whereas it kind of felt an elongated heart there. Yours comes up over this and over the epidural right there. Dude, you have had your love aspect trampled on so many times, it's not even funny. Girl. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the good. You want to talk about the good first or the bad first? Do we want to get the bad out of the way? Do we want to rip the Band-Aid off and get the bad out of the way? Akashic field, Akashic thread wise. In this life, you had a ton of different karmic bonds that you had to learn to let go of. It sucks. It sucks. When you have a karmic bond that you have to learn to let go of, you struggle hard with that. You struggle so hard with that. Because what happens is, let's say that you have a karmic bond with another soul, okay? And you've done this in every single lifetime. The two of you have a toxic relationship, and now it's come to the time where it's done. Your soul is ready to move on. So in this life that you're in, you have this karmic relationship. This person keeps coming in and out of your life. You get like this addiction to this other person and vice versa. These are the relationships that when they end so badly and so publicly that everybody's like, what the hell? Like, why can't y'all just walk away, leave each other alone? But you can't. Or one person can and the other one can't. They get obsessed and like it's crazy. You've had like 4. You've had like 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You had 4. 4 karmic ties, love-wise, that you have had to cut in this life. Not only that, this is sticking like straight up. I don't know if y'all can see it. See, it's sticking like straight up. This one is down here. The reason that you feel like you can't pinpoint, I didn't mean to breathe that hard on that you can't pinpoint a certain gift, that you don't know what main talent or gift you have, is because of these karmic issues. You didn't come here in this life right now to be some spiritual powerhouse. You're very well-rounded, but you didn't come in to be a spiritual powerhouse. What you did come in for was to clear this bullshit out. By clearing this bullshit out, it means that in your next life, which I would bet probably will be your last one, in your next life, that's when this comes in. Because y'all can't really see it, but there's I can put my whole finger down in it right there. See, I can put my whole finger down in it right there. So this end comes right to that precipice, but doesn't go in that crevice right there. That's where that talent lies. Because that crevice runs all the way down like this. Right now, here's the thing, Christy, because I'm going to tell you something, and some of you guys are going to be like, oh my God, that's really harsh. Oh my God, that sucks. But it's also very freeing. In this life right now, you came here to let go of this bullshit right here. These 4 souls. And I think one of them you probably haven't met yet. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 3, one of them you haven't met yet. In this life, as Christy, there is not a soulmate per se sitting here waiting for you in a romantic type of situation. 2 friends that would be soulmate type. They've been around you your entire, they super best friends. They would drop anything for you and vice versa. Y'all, you can have a friend or a family member that's a soulmate as well. It's not just love, okay? But relationship-wise, love-wise, you do not have one. You don't have one this time around. You've been doing this dance with these people right here for so long that you keep missing your soulmate in every single life. I really and truly think that next time around is probably going to be your last. I think that's when this crazy spiritual powerhouse comes in. I think that's when the soulmate comes in. The reason I say that is because this is just sticking straight up right there. I do love, however, that this comes up over the lodestone right here and over the pyrite. I don't know if you realize how lucky you actually are. And it's just like in Deadpool when he's like, luck is not a talent. Luck is a talent. Luck is a talent. There are some people that are insanely unlucky. And I would bet that if you really knew just how many times the universe and that luck gift that you have has just moved you slightly out of the way to save you from something else, I think it would blow your mind. So I kind of want you to, I want you to sit and I want you to think about all of the times that either maybe you've been headed somewhere and something kept you from getting there. You've been going to a job interview and you got a flat tire, or, you were trying to go just to the grocery store and you ended up having to go 2 miles out of the way and then come back. And then I want you to think about and this is funny. It's going to be funny and it's going to blow your mind at the same time. How many times has that happened where you have had something specific? I'm leaving to do this. I have to be there at this time or whatever. And you didn't make it because of some weird, usually minor inconvenience that made it to where you couldn't go. Do you know that the majority of people that get in car accidents are 5 miles from their house or less? I'm just saying. If you really look up the statistics on accidents and things like that, I think that you'd probably be like, holy shit. And I think that if you could see all of the accidents, all of the things that happened around those areas where you weren't supposed to be there, you missed so many accidents by moments. I don't think you realize how lucky you actually are. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Luck is a thing. Luck is a talent. And you can use that to your advantage. You can use that to your advantage. Coins are always lucky. Just saying. You know the old school rings that are made out of coins? This is a St. Benedict's medal, but they kind of look like that with a coin. You should get you one. You should get you one, but I don't recommend, don't just order one off Amazon. Get a handmade one. Get a handmade one if you don't have one already. Coins are very, very lucky. And remember, left is what you take in. So if you wear it on your left hand, that's what you're taking in. Right is what you give out. I'm just saying, get you a handmade one. Pick it yourself. You know what I mean? I am sure there are a ton of people on, the little orange ETSY website. I'm trying to be very careful with what I say since they keep flagging everybody for trying to take somebody off of the Tiki Talkie. That's what I would recommend. Don't stress about finding a soulmate in this life. It's a very freeing thing. Just saying. It's a very freeing thing. You do still have one more of these to cut off. Sorry. Sorry. Does that make sense, Christy? I like the yikes. Christine, did you say my list was already filled this evening? Are you serious? It shows that there are 4 available. So I don't know if they're in somebody's cart or what. Y'all be crazy. Y'all be crazy. You tried and it said it was full. All right, let me see. I bet I know what's going on. I bet I know what's going on. Hold on. Okay, I see what's going on. Look at it now and tell me what it says. Refresh and look at it now. Just out of curiosity. Oh no, white flag, no. I would like to, but no time. No time. No time. Makes me sad. All right. Jessica, you ready? No, you're good. It's funny. Every time I make an appointment, something happens. Every time I try to make an appointment, something happens. So I'm like, you know what? Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. All right. Ready, Jessica? Ooh, I like that. That is crazy. That is crazy. First of all, Jessica, you are amazing at seeing patterns. And I know that doesn't sound like such a crazy big deal, but it really is. That is something that's very, very Orion, Andromedan aspect. You're very good at seeing patterns. You're very good at noticing little teeny tiny changes in things. I would not be surprised to notice or to know that you notice a frequency change in anything. Like let's say that so I live by right now a private airport, and I can tell what plane is the same plane. That if that plane came in last week, I can tell the frequency. I would not be surprised if you can do the same thing. I would not be surprised to know that you can tell whose car somebody's is by the sound it makes, by the engine, the muffler, whatever the frequency is. You're very, very sensitive to frequencies. Very sensitive to frequencies. But this whole thing right here, you have a lot of, you're knocking a lot of stuff off your list this time around. I think that before you got here in the Jessica meat sack that you are currently wearing, you took a big long gander through your Akashic records. So you went through and you're like, all right, what kind of things can I get out of the way that I haven't got out of the way already? And I think that you have an amazing little list that your soul has been checking stuff off. I would bet that you have a ton of crazy stories, not just you want to one up somebody, but just insane shit that has happened to you in your life. Just insane shit. That if you were to tell somebody, they wouldn't believe you. They probably don't believe you. And then you have to show pictures, videos, etc. Like, no, look, this really happened. You're clearing so much stuff off. The other thing I'm going to say is this. You have an amazing talent for boundaries and you have an amazing talent for protection. I know that when I said boundaries and stuff, you're probably like, I'm working on it. When it comes to boundaries as a gift, as a talent, dude, protection is an intense talent. Protection is a very strong talent and it's a very taxing talent. So I would be willing to bet that anytime you have put protection out for somebody that you love, somebody that you care about, you've gotten sick afterwards. I would bet that anytime you've put a protective, you're the mom of the group. Of course you are. Of course you are. Anytime you put protection out over somebody that you care about or somebody that you know, maybe your friend's kid or something like that, your physical meat sack takes a hit. Because I've always been good at protections, protecting other people, myself, etc. I'm going to give you just a little bit. This is just like personal me to you advice, because this is a terribly amazing talent. Let's say it that way. It's a terribly amazing talent. It's amazing in that it helps to keep the people that you love safe. It helps to keep the people that matter to you safe, the people that matter to them safe. It's terrible in that it takes a big toll on the meat sack that you're in. It also means that for you, it removes a ton of things out of your life that you really want. You know, like relationships, friends, like certain things are just, they're always just at the edge and you can't ever bring them all the way in. So I'm going to say that seeing what's kept just to the outside, that'll help you tweak your wording a little bit, tweak your workings, your manifestations, etc., just enough to bring stuff around the edge. It might not be that specific job or car or person or house, but it will be the one that's just a little better. Does that make sense? Lodestone is going to be your friend. Lodestone is going to be lodestone, pyrite, lapis. Lapis with a ton of pyrite in it would be best. Tiger's eye and like rainbow obsidian. Those are going to be some of the best stones. You also need to find you something, either a pie stone like this or a piece that you can wear all the time and not take off. A ring, if you're comfortable wearing rings, you live off pyrite. See, that makes me happy. I have to be careful with rings because my hands sometimes swell up if I've been doing a lot, if it's hot, or if I've been doing a lot of typing, my hands will swell. So you need something that you can keep on your person all the time, because this will help you not only channel this energy and this protection, but give you a way to even things out. So there are going to be days, and I know that you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. There are days when you feel like you are completely on your shit. That if you were to say this person, and this person are absolutely protected, they're going shark diving with no cage, you're like, nothing's going to happen. They accidentally dump chum in the water, they're fine, right? And then there are days where you're like, oh, that shark going to eat you. You need something that's going to help you even this energy out. So it's not like this. You need it to be, here. Something that you can have on your physical person all the time, stone-wise, will help. Even though I gave you like 5 different stones that would be great for you, I'm going to encourage you to find the one that you are like, that one. It'll be like, that one's mine. I'm never taking it off. You find that stone. You find that ring, that pendant, that piece, whatever that is. You find that thing. Don't stress about what stone it is. Does that make sense? When I got this piece right here, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's mine. That's mine right there. That's mine. I was looking for a completely different stone. I'm not going to lie. I was looking for a completely different stone. And I came across this one and I was like, yep, that's it. That's it. I haven't taken it off since. Because this is an intense talent. Seeing patterns, noticing differences in frequencies, that's an intense talent. Terahertz, that's a stone. I don't have my bracelet up here. It's a silver stone. It's very, very lightweight, like jet. It's a man-made stone. But terahertz, that one is going to be fantastic for you because you are super sensitive to frequencies. Anything at all. Shungite's going to be another good one that helps with EMF protection, are going to help you tremendously too. Because being super sensitive to EMF and frequencies and so on, you're going to get constant headaches, dizziness, nausea, not be able to be in certain places, like things like that. So you need something that's going to protect you from those things. Does that make sense, Jess? That was a lot that I just threw at you. I promise I'll have this up on YouTube for you so you can go back there and listen to it 9 more times. But does that make sense? All of those things? You have epilepsy. Imagine that. Imagine that. I say that because I get it. I get it. From one epileptic to another, I totally get it. Oh, I am so sorry. Are you where it's storming? Oh, I'm sorry. California. Gotcha. Look at all the epileptics hanging out together. Look at that. It's not funny, but it is. I find that a lot of people that have neurospicy brains, whether it's epilepsy, autism, ADHD, any of the spices, are usually drawn to spiritual things, magical things. Y'all live it. Everybody, we live it. All right, Miss Norma, you ready? See, look, everybody in the comments are like, yep, I got the spice. I'm multi-spicy. It's not funny, but it is. Y'all know you're laughing at it too. It's not funny, but it is. All the spicy spices. All right, Miss Norma. Starts up here, goes down, round and back up. It's funny. I was tracing the lines and looking at everything, and it fell on the epidote. It fell on the quartz. It fell on the composite stone. But you know what it didn't fall on? It didn't even go over and touch this one, the Vandanite. I never can say it right. Oh my God, I just did. This is for focus and stamina. The short version of it is for focus and stamina. You're a powerhouse. You just wear out really quickly. You're like those short burst gifts. Short bursts of abundance, short bursts of focus, short bursts, or not focus, of clarity, short bursts of divination, short bursts of channeling, like short bursts of things, and then you have to break for a little bit. Oh, you're a void walker. That's why. Remember how I told you guys there was like a crevice right here? It crosses right over the darkest part. A void walker is somebody that they're more comfortable in the void than they are anywhere else. This is also why your stamina isn't where it should be with your gifts. People that spend a lot of time in the astral, that spend a lot of time in the void, that spend a lot of time anywhere but here in their physical self, have a problem with stamina. It can be fixed. It 100% can be fixed. By the way, I love that you guys are like, I've just got my drink and my popcorn sitting here hanging out. Good. Welcome. It can 100% be fixed. If you guys are finding that you've been in the spiritual realm for a little while, you've been in the spiritual realm for a couple of years or whatever, but you still don't seem to have the stamina to continue to move forward, or to continue, or to do multiple things, multiple big workings a week, or you can't get, a 2-hour ritual, or you can't do things like that. You can build that up. It's just like, and I want you to look at it in this way. It's just like walking, jogging, running. You're not just going to put on a pair of shoes and go outside and run 5 miles. You're just not. You're not going to get up, go outside and jog 5 miles. You're not going to just get up and go outside and walk 5 miles unless you've already been walking long periods of time. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to start in little bitty increments. That is how you build this stamina. The good thing about having low stamina when it comes to magic is you can always fix it. You can always fix it. But it does take effort, it does take time, and it does take you having self-discipline of doing it. If you really want to boost your spiritual stamina and your spiritual focus then you need to make sure that you take time and don't try to be overzealous with it. Don't try to be like, every single day, I'm going to start with 15 minutes. And when I said it that way, you guys, well, that's not a lot of time. Like, you could do that every day. No. Start with 3 days a week. Start with 3 days a week. 10 minutes. That's 30 minutes a week. Okay. Do that for like 2 or 3 weeks and then add another day in. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't stress about trying to, you know what, every single day if you do that, you're going to burn yourself out. It'd be like if you decided you were going to start running and training for a marathon and you went to just go start running every single day, you're probably going to get shin splints because you aren't used to running. The same is going to go for spiritual stuff. If you're like, you know what, for 30 minutes every single day from now on, I'm going to do something, cleanse, protect, blah, blah, blah. While that's a great thing to get to, you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to get spiritual shin splints, skin splints, shin splints. You're welcome for that. I don't want to know what a skin splint is. I don't want to know. You can build up your stamina. Norma, the reason that you don't have a lot of stamina is because you are a void walker. Void walkers spend an immense amount of time in the void. Instead of sleeping, the majority of your time is spent traversing the void. Instead of daydreaming, zoning out, you are in the void. This is why when you kind of zone out a little bit and people are like, hey, you're not paying attention. Hey, and you come back and they're like, what were you thinking about? You legitimately don't know because you didn't know you were gone. You're more comfortable in the void, in the darkness, than you are in the normal realms. It's not a bad thing. You just need to be aware that that's what you do. You're going to see the darkness in people before you see the light. You're going to see all of the different things, all of the bad things about a place, a car, a job. You're going to see all of the bad first. And then people are going to call that, you being very pessimistic or whatever. It is, but being a void walker makes you pessimistic because you already see all of the bad that could and probably will happen. Let me not take a deep breath and blow all this away. The fact that this one kind of comes straight into this composite right here, right where there's a big piece of pyrite and quartz, and then this one is laying up on the lodestone. You 100% can use a lot of this void time for your work, for your workings, for manifestation, etc. One of the things that the void is for is movement. And I want you guys to think of the void as a hallway. You have to have a hallway. You can't have a house that's just rooms. I mean, I guess you could, just rooms in a circle, but then you'd be going through somebody's bedroom and the kitchen and then the garage to go to the bathroom. Do you see what I'm saying? You need a hallway. You need a hallway. You just spend a lot of time in the hallway. You are the hallway expert. Having a lodestone with you, just put it by your bed. And the thing is, lodestones are not expensive, y'all. They're not. They're not expensive. Having quartz, pyrite, etc. by your bed, that's going to help you too. Fluorite will help you because it'll help you focus. Selenite will also help you. In fact, I would highly recommend, Norma, a piece of selenite by your bed, because that'll help to cleanse everything around you when you come back from the void, if that makes sense. Work on your stamina. Work on your spiritual stamina. I will say that there is one thing that you guys can do on a daily basis that only takes you, it takes you less than a minute to do. You can do it. I do it when I first get up in the morning, and that's just light a stick of incense. Just light a stick of incense. Doesn't matter what your personal favorite flavor is, but just an incense. Light it while you're getting around, or light it when you get home. That is a spiritual practice that you can do every single day. It doesn't take anything at all but for you to light that stick. But it will also help to keep your space clean, where you are ready to, I'm just poking everybody. I'm sorry. Where you can get to the point where you're doing more spiritual stuff. Does that make sense? Norma, I know that was kind of like a little bit of everywhere. I think that a lot of the problem that you're experiencing can be fixed just by upping your spiritual stamina. Don't force yourself to do stuff every day. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Don't force yourself to do something every day. But by upping your spiritual stamina, you're going to find that these things are amplified like crazy. Does that make sense? All right. Abigail is next. You are such an overthinker. You are such an overthinker. The reason I say that is because a lot of yours fell over here on the banana night. So it starts over here, comes down, up and over, and then it skirts this, and it skirts the epidote. It comes back up like that. That's super interesting. What I'm looking at, y'all can see it a little better. See how this it literally goes down and almost underneath right there. My friend, I think that you're hiding from something in this life. I think you're hiding from something this time around. Because of how that goes under these record keepers, it's not that you don't want to deal with it. It's that you needed a break. It's that you needed a break. I know I've read for you more than a few times. And I know that you are among us spicy folk. I think that the reason you overthink, I think that the reason that your anxiety is always through the roof, I think that the reason that you've probably been told that you manufacture fears in your head, the reason that all of these things happen is because your soul literally is kind of in hiding right now from something. Let me say that I don't think that there's any way that any of that is going to find you right now. I think you're fine. You've just been running from and dealing with it for so damn long that it's like, I think in this life as Abigail, in the meat sack that is Abigail, that is Abby, I think no matter where you are, who you're with, or what you're doing, I think that you're always going to have this weird paranoia. I think you're always going to have this like looking over your shoulder for no reason. I think you're always going to have this. Is this why your soul feels tired? Yes, absolutely. 100%. 100%. This is why your soul feels tired. It's also why you have a stupid amount of focus and stamina on certain things. You have had to be on high alert for so long, way before you ever got into the meat sack that you're in now, that you can't stop being on high alert. I would bet that hyper focus is a word that you are uber familiar with, and that happens more often than not. I would bet that there are certain things you hyper focus on that you don't understand why you're hyper focusing on them. It's not an obsession. It's not some new thing that's got you all excited. You just are suddenly like 2 hours down the rabbit hole in something that you have no idea about. All of the hyper focus is because your soul is so used to hyper focusing on everything. Love, I think a good career, a good job for you to get into in this life is anything that allows you to study patterns, statistics, allows you to sit in a quiet office and hyper focus, allows you to dive down a rabbit hole on one specific thing. I think that statistics are going to be an amazing thing for you, because I also think that you have pattern recognition that's beyond human. I think that you are able to see patterns where some people have no idea there was even a pattern to be seen. Out of curiosity, have you ever looked at the bubble particle pictures from CERN? If you haven't, you should. If you haven't, you should. You don't recall it? You should. I don't know why I felt the need to tell you that, but as I'm looking at that, I was like, I wonder if you've looked at them. Did you say that you have an appointment coming up with me? Hang on just a minute. Mid-September. Yeah, everything of mine got pushed out to mid-September. I'm so sorry. Christine, I sent a message to the business chat. Is there any way you could do that for me and send Abby a message? Okay, Scarlett, thank you. Is there any way one of y'all could do that for me? And then send Abby, one of the girls or both of the girls are going to send you a message here in just a minute. I just wanted to do something and I didn't want to forget. I didn't want to forget. So, yeah, they'll send you a message here in a little bit. Because looking at some of this, yeah. I'm just saying, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when I talk to you in person or on Zoom, I guess. We'll talk about it then. Just remind me about all the record keepers. So this piece right here, almost every quartz has a record keeper in it. Like it's phantoms, it's an insane piece. But this piece right here is intense, and that's right where the ribbon goes over. Oh, no, you're not in trouble, girl. No, you're not in trouble. Not in trouble at all. Oh, now I feel bad. I'm like, wait, I didn't mean to make you get you in trouble. No. 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 It's just something I wanted to do real quick before I forgot. So yeah, just when you get the message, just pop in and let me know that you got the message. You don't have to say anything else. Just say that you got it. Okay. But did that make sense about the stamina and about the pattern recognition and all of that? No principal's office today. You are welcome, kiddo. You're welcome. I've already had to deal with someone in the principal's office on a holiday weekend. I don't want to do it anymore. No more. No more. No more. No more. You're welcome, sweetheart. All right, Miss Cindy Poo. Cindy Pooloo Hoo. Cindy Hulu Poo. Cindy H. I'm going to do Cindy H, and then I'm going to take a potty break for a minute. Not for a minute, but I'm going to take a potty break after I do Cindy's. There's the Cindy. Oh, let me not jack that up. Ooh, you hemorrhage your luck. What the heck? It's funny. The way this landed, it looks like it's coming out of it. Down, around, and up, and yeah. So when I said you hemorrhage your luck, let me explain that. The way that this ribbon is, it looks like it's literally coming out of the stone. I mean, y'all can actually see it on there. It looks like it's coming out of the stone. Two things. One, I know that you, is it bad? No. I know that you don't know you're doing it. Two, you are one of those people that you're just an energy well. But so people that are an energy well, their body naturally produces more energy than they can ever use, ever. So they have to give it away, like shove it away from them. A lot of times it comes off as being overwhelming. So they either hyper focus or throw their entire self into work or family or whatever, and they get obsessed with that particular thing, right? But if they still can't find a way to give that away, they can come across as like overwhelming, overbearing, etc. A lot of times people that are energy wells get into careers that end up working them into the ground because they need something to give all of their energy to on a daily basis. They're going to replenish that energy at night and start over in the morning already drowning under the amount of energy. Does that make sense? That's basically what you are, what you do. Except yours comes out in a different way than just energy. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Than just energy or just overwhelming people. I would bet that you have probably gotten accused a couple of times in your life of either being too much or Miss Norma. Dude, that was really cool. I haven't seen that one. Thank you. I haven't seen that one. Thank you. Of being like overprotective, overwhelming. Hang on just a minute. You've learned to channel your excess energy into making everybody else around you happy, better, etc. You manifest all kinds of shit for everybody else. If you like this person, it doesn't matter how long you've known them. You could have known this person 5 minutes and you're like, oh my God, I really like this person. Like this person, this is a good person or whatever. You will do whatever you can to manifest something good for them. Even if it's just that they find $5 in the parking lot on their way out of the store. You manifest good things for everybody. That is how you have decided that you are going to take all of that energy you have and like fix it for everybody else. It's not a bad thing at all. It becomes bad when people get addicted to that. A lot of people that are energy wells, you get people that are addicted to you a lot. And because this comes down and it just skirts this whole aspect of the stamina and focus. See, I mean, y'all can see it. It doesn't even really touch it touches the matrix and not really the top. I would bet that you used to have, and this is not just age, you used to have a ton of focus, you used to have a ton of stamina, you used to have a ton of like all the things that kept you going. And it's just been at rock bottom lately. And you've just thought, well, you know, I am getting older, or I'm not sleeping as much, or, you know, my body hurts now. And you've got all these excuses in your head trying to rationalize it, but that's not the case. The case is that people have gotten addicted to it. And so they siphon it off. Instead of you actively just giving them, you know, manifesting whatever for them, they're siphoning it off from you. It's interesting the way this is laying right here. It's causing this one big piece of quartz to have these crazy shadows down it. Girl, if you haven't started learning some baneful magic yet, please do. Please do. Please do. I know some people are like, I only want to be love and light. I only want to do good things and so on. But you have to have balance. And let me say that there is baneful magic that people do that is actually good in the long run. If you are doing an offensive working for your house, such as protection comes in both defensive and offensive forms. Just saying. It comes in a defensive form of just, this is a barrier that you can't cross. That's a defensive form, right? So a fence, an energetic fence, is a defensive form of protection magic. Now, putting spikes on the fence, putting barbed wire on the fence, putting, you know, nasty jars for those people that want to push your boundaries, that is actually a baneful practice. That is an offensive, baneful practice of protection. Doesn't seem like it though, right? Because you're like, hey, you know, that bitch came on my property. That, you know, they kept pushing my energetic boundaries. They get what they get. That's technically baneful offensive magic. But we don't look at it that way because it's protection, right? That's what I'm talking about, Cindy. When I'm talking about learning some baneful magic and learning how to really protect you, protect your boundaries, protect the things that Cindy cares about. I think that you've got one person in particular that is siphoning off way more energy than you realize, and then you're willing to give as well. I think they've been doing it for probably about 2.5 to 3 years. And I think that it keeps getting more and more and more. And this is why you feel like you've got brain fog. This is why you feel like you've got all of this stuff just siphoning away from you, and you're just chalking it up to, you know, this or that, or this or that, or this or that. I would highly advise learning some baneful magic. Some baneful magic. I'm just saying. What? What'd y'all hear? Oh, y'all heard my phone. Y'all heard my phone. My kid text. It's Rick and Morty. Yeah, it was my ringtone. Yeah, my kid messaged me to let me know that she was taking a bath in my bathroom. And yeah, it's Rick from Rick and Morty saying, "I don't give a fuck." I mean, there are ghosties here, but they're more quiet. You're welcome. You're welcome, Cindy, honey. All right, let me take a potty break real quick. This is going to be a thing tonight. I've drank way too much water. Drank way too much water. All right. Y'all have about 1 minute. If you need to go to the party, if you need to go get a drinky drink, if you need to go get a snacky snack, you got about 1 minute. And then Hope is my next one up on the list. Is Miss Hope. All right, let me not walk in my glasses because that'll be bad. I feel bad. I'm sorry, bears. I'm sorry, bears. Oh, love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. All my little fur childrens. All my little fur childrens. Do you need to come in? Do you need to come in? You can come in. I'll leave the door open. I'll leave the door open. All right. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Miss Hope is next. I missed Boba. I have a problem. I have a problem. I should just leaked it all down my shirt. I just saw the Abby message. Miss Ma'am, yes. $100%. 100%. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. All right, Hope, you ready? Well, that's interesting that it looped all the way around that. So it starts over here in the peridot, comes up and then curves down around the lodestone, back up around the bananite, and then up. It's touching the stone right here, but all back here, it's looping way out around. So this is Orthoceras. These stones right here are fossils. They're like 400,000 years old. They're pretty common. They're, you know, the trilobite things, like all the crazy big buggy bugs or whatever, but they're used for past life recall. They're used for integrating your past lives and your present life together. The fact that this started in the peridot, which is abundance, came around and curved around that right there. I think. Let me back up. Hope. First of all, you've always been an abundant powerhouse. You've always been an abundant powerhouse. The universe has always and will always take care of you. When you need money, the universe is like, I got you. When you need a good job, the universe is, I got you. Like, you've always got exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. It may not be more than like a quarter over what you need, a $5 bill over what you need, but you've always got what you need. The universe has always brought you exactly what you need because you have abundance in your soul. But this is a lot of past life shit. And I said shit for a reason. I don't think that this is a karmic issue. Not with the things that we already talk about. You know what I mean? Not with the things that we've done. Not that. Has nothing to do with that person at all. Okay? This, the way it loops around and comes over here. Girl, I think that the reason that you're so exhausted all the time is because your soul is old as dirt. It's funny. You have a soul that's super old, but at the same time, it's super young. This right here, this life that you're in, I bet you have this weird thought all the time, and it has nothing to do with self-harm. So y'all don't think I'm saying that. Where you're like, how much longer? How much longer? Your soul is one of those souls that gets very impatient. You have lives like this. You might live 100 or 200 years in one life, somewhere else in the universe, and then you don't take the time to fully debrief before you go into the next one. Like, you're just like, nah, just send me back. Just send me back. Just send me back. Just send me back. It's almost like playing the slot machines in Vegas. Like, you're just like, one more penny. One more penny. One more penny. 10 pennies. 10 pennies. 10 pennies. Like, it's like playing the slot machines at Vegas. Like, that's how you look at it. You do, and for a hot minute you were in a very dark spot, which we discussed. Yes. Yeah. This, however, I think that the reason that you've had some of the issues that you've had in this life with that person is because you have the stamina and the focus to handle it. I kind of think that, well, I've told you this already. This is a karmic issue, a karmic tide that you have to deal with. This is the life that you actually have the stamina to deal with it, the focus and the stamina to deal with it. One thing I am going to recommend, though, because seeing how this is curved all the way down and around, like it's way down and around. There are a lot of really cool guided meditations on the U of the tuba. I have to be careful how I say it. You know what I'm saying? On the YT. that will help you look at different past lives. There are a ton of them. I don't know that I would do it this evening unless you just have time, but pull up a playlist of them and then listen to like the first little bit, skip to the middle, skip to a third of the way in, and listen at how it's walking you through looking at some of these past lives. Is it walking you down into a cave, to a beach, and then you're seeing a past life that you need to see, or is it making you see a whole bunch? Do you see what I mean? I would start doing some of these guided meditations, and to be honest, I would start doing one a week. Like, let's say you're off Saturday, Sunday, I would do one on Friday night. And then Saturday morning, record everything that you saw, whatever you can remember. I think that there's a lot of things that you need to process. And I think that this life right now is the one where you actually have the stamina and the focus to do so. And I think that it's like you hyper focus here and then hyper focus here and then hyper focus here. And so you don't ever have one thing to put your hyper focus, your fixation on that is doing what you need to do. This is it. I don't think that you need to know every single past life you've ever had and so on. But I do think that there's a lot of them that your soul feels like are open-ended because you didn't take the time to really debrief a lot of the stuff. And I think by delving down that pathway, it's going to help you tremendously. I'm not recommending past life regression. People will ask all the time. I get comments on videos and so on. I'm not a fan of past life regression. I'm going to tell you why. If you get a past life reading, whether it's from me or somebody else, you get a past life reading, you're going to hear, I'm not obviously going to sit and give you a moment to moment thing, or I would be for a lifetime telling you about one lifetime, right? You're going to get the things that resonate with you, the things that matter to you, you're going to get the highlights that are affecting you right now, right? It's going to resonate with you on a very deep level. And you're going to be like, oh shit, that's why I don't like water. Oh my God, that's why I've had a problem with my left leg since I was born. It's going to resonate with you immediately. The thing that I'm not a fan of when it comes to past life regression is that it's hypnosis. I am a fan of hypnosis. I'm not a fan of hypnosis when it comes to past lives, because if somebody is not very skilled in dealing with past life trauma or trauma in general, and they hypnotize you and have you going through this regression, and let's say that there is a massive trauma in that past life that also happened in this past life, and now you're bringing up those memories. If they don't know how to handle that, they can cause a very serious issue with your psyche. They can cause a very serious issue with you mentally and emotionally as well. Like, they could cause a psychotic break. I am in no way a fan of past life regression. Period. I don't recommend it to anybody. Period. I just don't. I'm not knocking the people that do it. I'm just saying that I have had more than a few clients over the last 10 years that I have had to help out, help them find a solid psychiatrist afterwards that they could talk with, about past lives and stuff without getting a grippy sock vacation. It's just the same thing goes with the ayahuasca retreats where people are just traveling around in RVs doing them. I don't recommend those either, because they're not trained to do it correctly. And I just want you guys to be safe. I really do. I just want you guys to be safe. So I want you to think about we've all seen the movies where like someone gets amnesia and then they remember, then they start doing all this spy stuff, you know, and because they forgot they were a spy or whatever. Same. If you have trauma that you've buried and somebody pulls that out in a past life regression, they have to know how to help you out of that. They have to know how to help you out of that. And if they don't, you can be in some really, really bad shape. So I just think about it before you guys do anything like that. If you are wanting to do a lot of past life work and you don't know where to start, and you're like, well, I'm kind of broke and I can't do a past life reading with anybody right now. Guided meditations for past life, dealing with past lives will help you tremendously. It will help you tremendously. Even if you're like, well, guided meditations never work for me. Put it on, find a longer one, put it on and sleep to it. I guarantee you'll wake up and be like, holy shit. Guarantee you. They'll help you tremendously. You can work your own self through the vast majority of those things. You don't need to pay somebody for it. Just saying. You don't need to pay somebody for it. Does that make sense, Hope? Start doing a lot of these guided meditations. Do like once a week. You know, if you get really bold, do twice a week. But start with once a week and start working on some different things. I think it will help you more than you realize. More than you realize. Because that big loop is interesting. That big loop was crazy interesting. I saw somebody ask when I was going to do these again. I will probably do them. I'll probably do them again toward the end of September. All right. Miss Sherry M is next. Yep. Abby, you are correct. Same, but different. Does that make sense? Now, I will say the thing that Christine just posted, the alchemy coin, the transmute that shit reads. I do have those scheduled for tomorrow, which is August 31st. And then I also have them scheduled for the last day of September as well, just so you guys know. All right. Ready, Sherry? These make me hungry, so y'all get to watch me do snacky snack. It comes up and then back around itself. Sherry, you need to learn how to read past lives. You need to learn how to read past lives. The fact that this looks like it's coming out of this and coming up around, it's got all the focus and the stamina here, comes back around here into the record keepers. I think that you already channel them. I think that you already, you're so welcome, Hope. I think that you already, when you meet people, you kind of already categorize them in your head as something specific. Oh, that person's really magical, or oh, this person doesn't even know about the trauma that they've had. Like you can, it's almost like you can smell it. You need to really learn to channel that and read past lives, Sherry. I'm not kidding. I think that you would be a natural at it. Not only that, but I think that you would be able to pick them up like this. The only thing I'm going to say about that is because of the way this cuts across several of these bigger pieces of the bigger points right here, you're going to have to be careful. So the thing about past life readings is this: people that are very good at it and people that can channel them very easily, that doesn't take a lot for them to meditate to get into them or anything like that. You can kind of get lost in them. You can get lost in them because it's like, and they do get overwhelming, and they get to be a lot because you see the good, but you also see the really, really horrible stuff. You see the amazing, the families, the love, the success, and you see the horrible things and the loss and the grief and the death. And you can get super sucked into them. So you have to really, really be careful. In fact, I don't really know anybody that channels past lives, that does past life readings, that doesn't have a few that they still think about. I've got one in particular from 2020 that still it's haunting in a way. There's a handful of them that like I still think about. They hit you so deep and so hard. So Sherry, just know that like that's a talent. It's one of your talents, and in the Sherry meat sack that you're in, it's a talent. How would you learn to do that? I would be willing to help you. I don't teach it because it's not just something that anybody can learn to do. You kind of already have to have that natural ability to do it. I think yours is intense. I wouldn't be surprised if you've already channeled it a few times for people and not realized that you did. I would be willing to help you. I'd be willing to teach you. I would be willing to help you, Sherry, if you would like. If not, I don't know who teaches it. I don't know who teaches it. And here's the reason why it's hard to teach. Because every person that channels past lives sees them differently. And I'm going to put them like that, sees them differently. So it's a matter of finding out how you channel and how that information is going to come to you the easiest. So that's the key to it. That's why I don't really teach it as a class. That's why I don't teach it as a class, because everybody's different. But I would be more than willing to help. I would be more than willing to help you. I'd be more than willing to help you. Because like I said, you're going to have to be careful that you don't get kind of sucked into it. Does that make sense? Or stuck in it. So yeah. But you definitely have the stamina for it. You have the focus for it. And it's a natural talent. You also have a natural talent for skipping across the void. And I felt like that was important to point out. It's not that you don't acknowledge the void. It's not that you haven't been down in it. It's that you are able to get across it instead of getting sucked down in it. And that's an amazing talent. That's also an amazing talent. So you are one of those people that sometimes you can't wrap your head around how people can get stuck in the void, because it's just natural for you to be able to get out to do whatever it is that you want to do. Does that make sense? Yeah, if you want to shoot me a message, or the girls can remind me to shoot you a message, we can figure all that out. I'm happy to help you, lady. I will say, a lot of my time right now, I'm looking at like the week of the 16th of September. So just so you know. Just so you know. So you are so welcome. You are so welcome. So let me say this, because I saw the comments and I said the person that got muted and so on and so forth. Let me say this. A, you can scroll. B, I've been doing this a very long time. I don't know everything. Don't ever say I know everything. Don't claim to know everything. But I do know a lot of shit about a lot of things. And I have been teaching a lot of things before TikTok was ever a TikTok. If I really wanted someone to argue with me, I could find that easily. If I really wanted someone to come into my live streams and be telling me what they think versus whatever, to make it seem like they're undermining whoever, I would guarantee that you do it to other creators too. And you probably get muted and blocked there too. That is not how you become anyone of any means in the spiritual community. Everyone has a different way of utilizing their talents. Your way might be the right way for you. It's not going to be the right way for everyone. There are a lot of things that are teachable. A lot. There are some things that aren't. I'm trying not to be Pharaoh Capricorn right now, because that was shitty. And I hope that for the next 3 years, you smell like shit and you can't figure out where it's coming from, but everyone knows it's you. Did you block that one or just mute that one? Because I kind of feel like that one needs to be blocked. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. Well, let's fix that. I wonder why you couldn't. It did that to Brandon too. There you go. You can now. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. All right, Miss Shonda, you get feral Bodhi. It's not funny, but it is. Yeah, that pissed me off. Yeah, because whenever I make you guys a moderator, I am able to go in and give you like what you can and can't do. Does that make sense? And I always put block on there. So I don't know. I think I just get super irritated at the people that are trying to make a name for themselves by being hateful to other people. Yours won't block either, Leanne? What? Okay, let's fix that. What the hell? Yeah, that's crazy. You can now, Leanne. You can now. And Tosh can't pin anything. What the hell? All right, let's fix that. Let's fix my moderators. You could do everything else but pin. What? Okay. You know what? What the heck? Let's see. Let me look at Nikki's. Hold on. Now I'm curious. Nikki's is fine. Christine's is fine. What in the hell? It is what it is. We're going to move on and be happy. And it's great. It's fantastic. All right, Miss Shonda. I know I kind of already cleansed this, and then I need to light another incense in a second. Wow, I sounded like, oh my God, in a second. You're welcome for that. Ready? You are a really interesting mirror. You're not a mirror in the way that we normally think of mirrors. You're a mirror. You're like a sponge mirror. So here's what I saw first, okay? You have this amazing amount of focus, and you're able to mirror someone's focus back to them. So this is why when you're around somebody that is super, super intense and hyper focused and dedicated and like workaholic, you immediately start to like fall into that. But if you're around somebody that they drain energy, or they're just lazy, or they have no motivation, like you fall into that. Like it's so weird. Well, you think it's weird. So you get to the point where you don't want to be around certain people because you're like, you know what? Every time I get around them, I don't drink. But when I get around so-and-so, all I want to do is drink wine. When I get around so-and-so, all I want to do is sit and watch, cop documentaries, which I don't watch. Like you catch yourself doing these weird things that are habits for somebody else, but not for you. And what's funny is if let's say that you have a friend that they drink a ton of wine, you don't drink, but every time you get around them, you're like, all I want to do is drink wine. And if you're on the phone with them, you start talking about it to the point they're like, that's really annoying. I don't know why you're talking about it. Like you're able to mirror their focus, their hyper focus back to them. Thankfully, you don't keep it. Some mirrors keep it for too long. You don't keep it. It's actually a really interesting talent because the way that you mirror these things back to people allows them to see what's broken, what's cracked, that they need to fix. What sucks about it is that, like, the way that this came back down to an end and it stops, it right there. What sucks about it is that 80% of the people that this happens with, they get upset with you about it. They get upset with you about it. I don't know why you had to say that. I don't know what made you think that that you should do that. Like things like that. And you legit don't understand why they're mad because you just made a comment, something you were like, I don't know why I'm really thinking about this. And they got mad at that because it was showing them something that they already knew was a problem. You're more of like, I guess I would say a dark mirror in a way. What's interesting, remember how I said you don't hold on to it like other mirrors do? You end up taking whatever it is you pull from this other person, you end up taking it and dumping it off in the astral. You end up dumping it off in the astral. Do you astral travel on purpose, Shonda? Or is it something that you just wake up and you're exhausted? You do not. Okay. I would start working on doing it on purpose, because I think it would behoove you to know where it is you're going to dump those things off. You just wake up exhausted. Okay. I think that it would be a good thing for you to find out where it is that you're going in the astral to just randomly dump these things off. Because I can't tell where it is. I can tell you it's somewhere in the lower, and that's about it. I can tell you it's somewhere in the lower, and that's about it. The lower is the biggest part of the astral, so that really doesn't help. But at the same time, there are a lot of very interesting places and interesting things in the astral. And yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Christine. I just saw, what's up, Miss Gail? Shonda, you need to be learning how to do it on purpose. You need to be learning how to do it on purpose. Why is that surprising? So for those of you guys that are like, how do you know if you're astral traveling on accident? If you're neurospicy at all, chances are you've astral traveled more than once. If you're neurospicy at all. If you wake up more exhausted than you went to bed, thank you, Astrology Psychic. I love that you wanted to tag Miss Gail. That makes me so happy. I hope your breath always smells like a dead fish. I think I'm just going to start wishing that on people. I think that's what's going to happen. If you wake up more exhausted than when you went to bed, chances are you're traveling. If you wake up with odd marks, scratches, bites, like bug bites or bruises or whatever, chances are that you're traveling. Sometimes I've done this, and I know several people that have done this, wake up with grass in my hair. I don't sleepwalk. In fact, usually I don't move when I'm out. There's a lot of ways to know that you're traveling. There's a lot of ways to know that you're traveling. But you can learn to travel on purpose. Learning to travel on purpose isn't hard. It's really, really not. It's as easy as starting to, just in your head, I am going to travel on purpose tonight. You may not remember, and that's okay. But in your head, set that intention. I am going to astral travel on purpose tonight. On the YT, there are a ton of guided meditations. There are a ton of just frequencies and binaural beats, things like that will help you. That's what I'd recommend. I don't recommend doing it every night. I recommend maybe once or twice a week, once at the most, really. If you're not doing it already, if I said some of those things, I'm like, if you do this or this or this, and you're like, oh shit, okay, well, I probably travel in my sleep, then a couple of times a week if you're brave. But doing it on purpose will do two things. One, you'll start remembering more of your traveling, where you're going, why you're going there, etc. And two, you'll start, I'm going to say, pinging the interest of beings over there in a good way and also in a bad way. So you do have to have some protections around your bed. You have to make sure when you get up, before you get out of bed, that you're cutting that tie and so on. And it's as easy as having a piece of obsidian by your bed and just touching it before you get out of bed. It's really that easy. But you need to know where it is you're taking this information, Shonda. You need to know where you're taking this information. If that makes sense. So yeah. You're welcome. Being a dark mirror isn't a bad thing. It's not. I mean, people are going to take it the wrong way, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Trusted shops to sell the real thing. So many fakes. Right now, I don't know. I will say this, guys. I'm actually really excited to get moved because I know I have a ton of stuff that's been sitting there. I know a ton of stuff that's been sitting there. I am, as of right now, planning to go to the Tucson Gem Show in January, and we'll be going through to see Mr. Moon, and he has a ton of obsidian and Apache tears. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that. A lot of times if you're traveling, yeah, you're fighting off something. So yeah. Shonda, if you need to know anything else about that, just let me know. Okay? If y'all have any questions about anything I say to you in these reads, you are more than welcome to reach out and ask. So, yeah, if you live in New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California, around the lava fields down there, sometimes in the areas, the public areas, not the national parks, but the public areas, you can sometimes find little pieces of obsidian just at the edges of the lava flow. So yeah. All right, Miss Joy is next. I'm interested to see what comes up for Miss Joy. Looked like I was going to stab myself in the face. I see why you're a teacher. I see why you became a teacher, Miss Joy. Almost all of this, well, not almost all of it, but 2/3 of this stone is encompassed by your ribbon. This is focus and stamina. First of all, I hope you know that you aren't going anywhere for a long you stuck here with us, Miss Joy. You ain't going anywhere for a long time. This focus and this stamina, I would be willing to bet bet part of my booty that you were one of those teachers that made a big impact on 90% of the kids that came through your class. In a good way or a bad way. I would bet they either absolutely adored you or disliked you, and there was nothing in the middle. You also have this innate talent. I'm going to say, I wanted to say for seeing someone's talent, but that's not it. You have You have an innate talent for seeing someone's soul. You have this amazing way of, especially as a kid, you can look at a baby, a toddler, a kid, teenager. You can look at somebody that's younger and see their soul. I would bet that you've been able to steer a lot of kids down the path that they needed to be on just because you could see that. I would bet at baby showers when people play the game, like, what do you think that so-and-so is going to be like when they're 18 or they're 25? I bet you are almost always right. Like, you can look at a kid and see their soul. I also think that you use this gift a crazy amount in your career without realizing it. And I think that's why the meat sack that you're riding around in now has had so much issues. That was a cool. You can't make this up. Do y'all see that? It wasn't in here in front of me, but I can see it on the camera. Miss Joy, I think that the reason that you have a lot of problems is because you used this gift so much that it started to make your meat sack break down more than it should have. Does that make sense? The other thing I'm going to say is this. You need to give you permission to not have stamina. You need to give you permission to not have to worry about focus. I think that you did exactly what it was that your soul came here to do. And now you're at a point where you just get to sit and relax and just be. You've done everything you were supposed to do. Like the fact that none of this is covered, this isn't covered, it's all right here. You did everything that you were supposed to do in the meat sack that you're in right now. I think that's amazing. I think you deserve a big old cake. Congratulations. I think that is absolutely amazing, Joy. If you've been wondering if you accomplished everything that you were supposed to accomplish, yes, you did. 100%. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Putting hundreds and hundreds of souls on the right track. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did that. It's also why you're so exhausted. You're welcome. I wondered if you were here. I didn't see you pop up. So I wondered if you were here. So give yourself permission to not care. I mean, really, you did everything you were supposed to do, my friend. And I think that's amazing because a lot of people don't accomplish all of that. A lot of people come here in any given life with a list of things to accomplish, and they get maybe 70% of them done. You got all of them done. I think you took it as a personal soul challenge to get all of them done. And I think that's a phenomenal thing. And I love your face. And I hope that you're feeling okay. And I hope that you haven't had crazy bad headaches. And I'm just saying. But everybody has had crazy bad headaches. Even people that I know that don't normally have headaches have had crazy bad headaches. Is that what you need to know, Miss Joy? I know that I've never done these for you guys before. And I know y'all didn't know what to expect. To be honest, I don't know what to expect out of them either, but I'm really enjoying them. Like, I'm sitting here trying to think of a way that I can take some of these with me to Pennsylvania to do reads from the church like this. Because I think that would be fun. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I could help, Miss Joy. Brett is next. I love you, Laz. Ready? Ooh, okay. That's crazy. So it goes like this. No, it goes like this. It looks like an infinity, but it's not. So let's start here, because this is the easiest part to explain. You have a huge part of this over the peridot, and then you also have the end of this right here that basically is right at the peridot. This is abundance. This is abundance. You are, amplification, abundance, clearing, money, focus, etc. You're never ever going to have a time in your life where you want for anything. The universe has made sure to put you in a spot where you're set. Like I told Hope earlier, the universe has always watched out for her to, so she's always had exactly what she needed. Exactly what she needed. With you, the universe gave you every building block that you needed to build you where you needed to be, that you always would have abundance. And you took every one of those building blocks and you put them right in place. And you made this cute little castle, and it's there. That is never going to be a problem. This, however, is interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting because this part goes completely around this chasm that's right there. It doesn't even go around. It doesn't even cross it, right? It skirts around it, goes away. Like, it doesn't even go over the chasm part. The crevasse. So what that tells me is you're not here in this meat sack to take care of hard things. I think a lot like Miss Joy, you have a list of other things that you need to accomplish. And that's why there are certain things that have never really been of great importance to you. Some people come here and they know that they have this fire inside of them to change people, to change the world, to change whatever. And they don't really focus too much on themselves. They don't really focus too much on relationships. They don't really focus too much on things that, you know, home and family and all that stuff doesn't really matter to them like it matters to other people. Usually I can look at someone's birth chart and kind of tell right off the bat. But with you, you're not here to handle a lot of hard bullshit, if that makes sense. You are here to close loops. You are here to change paths. Because, you know, see how I said that this is not quite an infinity, because it goes like this, but then here it does this thing. You're here to close paths. You're here to shift perceptions. You're here to open roads, open pathways. You're also here to be a catalyst for people that cross your path, whether it is as one of your, you know, patients, clients, as a friend, as an acquaintance, as whatever it is. You're here to be a guidepost, to show them which way they need to go, Because of that, that's an interesting role and a hard role at the same time, because it means that there are not going to be a crazy amount of people that are in your life for the long haul. It means that there are going to be a ton of acquaintances that come in and out. Friends, however, there's only going to be a small amount of like people that you would actually call friends that would drop anything to help you, and vice versa. Acquaintances, tons and tons of acquaintances for Brett. Friends, really small amount of friends. You're also always going to have a knowledge that you can't get too close to certain people, because you're just a guidepost for them. You're just the little guru house in the mountain, you know, like they stop at the mountain, they stop at the little guru house and they drink the tea and they get what they need and they go on about their way. You know that they're just a tourist passing through. There we go. They're just a tourist passing through. Some of them are going to stay a week or two, and some of them are just going to stay for that cup of tea and be gone. And I hope you understand what I mean by that. It's just like knowing that you don't ever have to tie yourself to one thing, one person, one place, one house, one car. Some people expect that when they get out in life as an adult, they're going to get their dream car, their dream house, their dream person, and they're going to settle down and they're going to live there forever. And that's their forever car and their forever house. But that's not the way life is. And a lot of times, you know, people might only move once or twice in their life. And then other people, it seems like they're moving all the time. Neither way is right or wrong. Neither way is bad or good. It's right and good for that person, or right and good for that person. You're going to be that person that you are only going to stay in one spot for a little bit before something shifts and changes big time in your life. And it's actually really freeing to think about. It's actually really, really freeing to think about, to know that you don't have to be tied to this particular place or this particular job or this particular car or this particular person, that there's freedom in all of that, that there's fluidity, because you have other things that have to happen, that you signed up that have to happen. Very similar to Miss Joy. And I think that a lot of the lives that you touch with what you do for a living, used to travel as a younger nurse and loved it. Always felt at peace with the movements. I'm just saying what I'm saying. You have a lot of souls that you're supposed to touch. And I think that that is going to become a stronger and stronger pull as you go through life. I think it's already been a very strong pull, and I think it's going to just be even stronger as you get older. You're going to be a van man. You're living in a van outside of Sedona, only for the winter. Come on, that's funny. That's funny. Brett, I would advise you to do this. The times when you're really stressed, if you go on the YT and you look at, I'll find my 2 favorites and send them to you. There are some, it's just colors on the TV. You can look up like lava lamps or some stuff like that, but where the colors just shift and change and it looks like smoke, or it's not you Googling fans, the other, stop it. Or it looks like smoke or water, something fluid. That is going to relax you more than you realize. That is going to relax you more than you realize. More so than mountains or beaches. You did not see me yawn. Y'all did not see me yawn. You didn't see me yawn. Does that make sense, Brett? Yeah, they're real easy to find on the big YT. They're real easy to find. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. All right. Miss Shannon White is next. Hi, sweetie. It's easier for me to see it over there. The way that looks right there, it looks like it's broken. See it? I love how it comes up, around. Here's what I'm going to say, Shannon. The way that looks right there, I know that it's just behind this. I can see it very plainly, but it looks like it's broken. I would not be surprised to know that you've had a near-death experience. I would not be surprised to know that you maybe have had a couple of them. The other thing that I find very interesting is you are one of those people that I think that you have become a void walker, but I think that you are someone that your soul kind of comes from the void itself. You were not always comfortable there, but you're getting there now. if that makes sense. You were not always comfortable in the void when you were younger. In fact, you probably steered clear of it as much as possible. It's the same as somebody whose family really wants, so let's say that every person in your family is a doctor and they expect you to become a doctor too, because that's a family business, right? And you fight it and fight it and fight it and fight it. You're not going to become a doctor because they told you to, so you're not going to do it. And then you end up becoming a doctor because eventually you realize like that's all you've ever really wanted to do, and that's what you end up doing. That's exactly what this is. Your soul kind of comes from the void right there. And now you've gotten to be very comfortable with it. You had to go around and around and around and around and around. What I love about it is that in going around and around and around, you gain this amazing amount of focus and stamina. But I think that you know all of that. What I need to point out to you is notice that it doesn't go over the peridot at all. It doesn't go over the cleansing part at all. It doesn't go over this at all. So in hyper focusing now on the void and being comfortable with the void, you've left out these two things completely. So my advice, Shannon, is going to be to start, and you're going to have to force yourself to have cleansing rituals once a week. Just pick a day. If you know you're always off Saturday and Sundays, and on Sundays, you know, you're always doing laundry and getting everything ready for the week, then that's what I would do. I would do it on Sunday, start your laundry, and then light incense. Spray your house down with, you know, a salt water spray or a holy water spray. On Sundays, whatever day of the week you want to pick, you need to have, that's ritual cleansing day for your house and you. Cleanse your house, then cleanse you. Or cleanse you, then your house, one or the other, whatever you want to do. That's going to help this, because the reason that your manifestations, that you drawing everything to you hasn't worked lately is because there's too much gunk. And the void is not about drawing things to you. The void is about letting things go. You have to have a healthy balance of those two. So I would advise to kind of step out of that void vacation and start cleansing and allow yourself to actually pull in the abundance again. And what sucks is right now the world is very conductive of the void. Everybody is in the void all the time because the universe, the world, makes us want to be in the void because that's all we hear and see, really. So you have to struggle to find the good stuff. And that's what I would recommend. Put some horse blinders on and let the bad stuff sit out there. And in the horse blinders, it's just the good shit for right now, Shannon, because this is the part you need to focus on. But for some reason, that is the part that is at the forefront of your mind. You have the focus and the stamina to continue to stay in the void as long as you want. But my advice is to start with a ritual cleansing day once a week. So this manifestation will come back. Does that make sense? Let me see here. I hate when I have my glasses on for too long and then I take them off and I can't see shit. All right. Shena is next. So here's who I have left on my list. I have Shena. Aw. Thank you, Mo. I have Shena. I have Amu. Am I saying it right? I have Tosh. I have Alyssa. I have Callie. I have Amy. And I have Sabrina. Really? That's it? We're already done? What the hell? I'm not complaining. All right. Shena, you ready? All right, my friend. This is up, around, up, and back. Girl. You need some major protections because you have a gift for cleansing a space just by being in it. You are like the human version of Yerba Santa. Because part of this is up here on the peridot and the other part is down here on the fur. You are the human version of Yerba Santa. When you walk into a space, let's say you've never been in a space before. You walk into a house that maybe you're moving into or whatever. Maybe there's been other people in there and they're like, I don't really feel comfortable in here. You walk in there and they're fine. If you're in a space, it's cleansed. This is why, let me tell you this. This is why you have a problem sometimes with either connecting with spirit guides, you do house cleansing. Stop it. Stop it. This is why you have a problem. I would bet if you ever go on paranormal investigations, you have a problem getting stuff because yeah, you have a problem because you cleanse everything out. I would bet you're fantastic at house cleansings because of that. You live in Savannah. Stop it. That's your talent. That is your talent. I would bet if somebody comes to you and they're like, hey, I have this and this going on, you immediately know what to tell them. Even if you're like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. They know why. And it works every time. That's an insane gift. It's an irritating gift when you don't want to cleanse a space, but that's an amazing gift. The problem is right here. And this is like around this chasm, this void right here. You also really like broken people. Broken people really like you. Thank you, Mo, for subscribing. You really like broken people. Because being a natural cleanser, being someone that this is what you do is cleanse shit. The people that are broken and the people that have a lot of darkness, you're drawn to them because it's just natural that you're drawn to them because you want to fix it. You want to cleanse it. You're also going to be drawn to places that have really, really nasty, negative shit attached to them because you want to cleanse it. Because you want to cleanse it. So that also has its own good and bad. You need to make sure that you are protecting yourself. Because broken people that you don't really want to help are going to get addicted to you and not going to leave you alone. So you're going to have to be really careful and you're going to have to make sure that you're protecting yourself hardcore. I say that not because I don't think that you protect yourself. I think that especially as we are going towards October, towards Samhain, towards, Day of the Dead and things like that, I have a feeling that this year is going to be a little more intense than other years. I also have a feeling that coming up to that point, I think is going to be very intense. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need your help. And I think that you're going to have to make sure that you are protecting yourself in a very, very big, deep way. I would advise looking at a couple of stones. I'm going to give you a list of a few. If you already have them, cool. And if not, might keep an eye out for them. The first one is going to be apophyllite and the blue apophyllite specifically. Blue apophyllite is a little more expensive. A little piece like this is going to be as much as a big piece of the white apophyllite. But blue is going to help you tremendously. Phenakite is the next one. Phenakite, you have to be really, really careful with because it looks like quartz. It looks like quartz, but it feels almost like calcite in a way, if that makes sense. So you have to be very careful where you get it from to make sure that it's actually phenakite and not quartz or calcite. Calcite's a little harder to fake into phenakite because it's clear like quartz. But phenakite's going to help you as well. I don't know of a good place to get Apache tears. I'm out of them. Apache tears are a form of obsidian. And they're a very, very intense form of obsidian. Smithsonite would also be a good one for you. And I'm going to give you one really easy to find because I think that this one is going to help you tremendously. And that's red jasper. And I don't know why I feel like red jasper is going to help you tremendously. It's for inner strength. And I don't know if that's for, you know, the upcoming fun that's going to happen this fall or what. But not a lot of people have an innate talent of just being able to walk in a room and cleanse that space. Not many people have an innate talent to just naturally be a cleanser just by existing. I think that is a fantastic thing. I think it's a fantastic thing. And you are a finite commodity. Keep that in mind. So don't let people take advantage of you and don't let people siphon that cleansing off for their own good. Does that make sense? Trust your gut. If you think somebody's inviting you to a place to cleanse something for free, and I said it that way on purpose because when people realize that you are able to do that, just saying. Look out for some. You have a connection. You gotcha. Oh, good. I'm glad it is something you needed to hear and not like, you know, I see it a lot. It's funny. On TikTok, I see people that just want to fight with each other. And I see people that, you know, they just want to start drama and stuff. When y'all need to be really preparing yourself for being out in the real world, because out in the real world, while that stuff exists too, don't think that it doesn't. There are too many people that are able to siphon other people's gifts off. They will 100% take advantage of a spiritual person's gifts, either for their own gain for money, or they will siphon them off. I've watched it happen. It happens in the real world. It's not a movie. So I just felt the need to tell you to really, really protect yourself going forward, because that's a wonderful, amazing talent to have. And being a natural cleanser, you're going to naturally cleanse yourself too. So trust your gut. Okay? Totally trust your gut. You're welcome so very much. All right. Amy K. I don't know why it says you. Amu. I'm going to call you Amu on purpose. Amy. Amy, Tashana, Alyssa, Callie, Amy, H, and Sabrina. Okay. I was like, what is going on? Why are you randomly just doing stuff? All right. Amy K. Food in the face. Mm. You know what song just went through my head? It's so funny. That Black Crowes song about says she talks to angels. You do, by the way, Amy. Amy, I think Scarly would probably be better equipped to help you with this, but you, for some reason, have a very easy communication with angelic beings, with angels. I would not be surprised if this runs in your family. I wouldn't be surprised if this runs in your family. I wouldn't be surprised if you are a big fan of supernatural. I wouldn't be surprised if you already knew what a Nephilim was. I wouldn't be surprised if you have already fallen down all of the lore of the choir of angels and all of that stuff. You have a direct line. Even if you are not a practicing Christian, they help you a lot. If you ask them for something, they're there. They're there. The reason that I find this so interesting, and I looked at this for a long time, is because this right here, this end of the ribbon went completely off over there, and it comes up over the edge of the Vandanite, and it comes up and back around and then off again. If you don't have a record keeper quartz, you need to get you one. You need to get you one that is hopefully on a pendant or something that you can wear all the time. You need one. Like, you need one. I also would recommend getting a tower or something beside your bed. And I say that because a record keeper is going to be programmed. You're going to program it as you use it. So by wearing one, it's going to, you wear one every day. Stop it. So you already know exactly what they're used for. Then I don't have to explain. That was just confirmation that, yeah, you needed that piece, and yeah, you should wear it every day. Did your jaw kind of hit the floor a little bit when I told you needed a record keeper? I don't know what this talent is, and I don't know why it's there. Because it's a very interesting one. Yeah. It's almost like you're an in-between. You're a tether that allows communication from angelic realms to other angelic realms. Like, you know, when you used to play the telephone game when you were a kid and somebody had a can and the other person had a can and there was the string in the middle and the string had to be pulled kind of tight and then you could talk and you could hear each other. You're the string. You're the string. There's a lot of things that you get downloads, these weird ass downloads that you don't know why or how. You're drawn to movies that have this kind of hierarchy in them, that has angels in them in all different ways. I am going to recommend two different things. One, if you don't have, whether you read tarot or not, because they're a tarot deck, but they're not a tarot deck. I don't know how to explain it. Y'all will know once you see one. There is an angel tarot and an occult tarot. The angel tarot is all of the choirs of angels. It has all the archangels. It has all the other stuff in them too. I would recommend buying yourself that deck, and I would recommend buying the big one in the box with the book. not a little pocket deck. I also would recommend buying the Occult Tarot at the same time and having them as a pair because of this talent and this communication. There's a lot more that I need to say to you about this, but I don't think that it's not for a live stream. Hey, Christine. Will you remind me? I need to message Amy K after the live stream or tomorrow. I need to message her. I need to message you some stuff, Amy, but it's not, I don't feel like I need to say it on the live stream. Like every time I try to say it, something's like, maybe don't do that. And I'm like, okay, maybe I won't do that. So I need to message it to you. Nothing bad. I just feel like it's not something that everybody needs to hear. I feel like it's just for you. So you're welcome. So let me send you a message here in a little bit. I feel like there's a couple of things that you need to pick up that are super cheap, like $10. But yeah, I don't feel like it's something I need to say out loud. And it's not something you have to buy for me either. I can tell you exactly where to get them. I can tell you exactly where to get them. So, does this make sense? It's a very interesting talent. Just saying. Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense because I was like, I really hope this makes sense to her. I really hope. All right. I'll message you here in a minute then. I like these reads. I'm learning some shit and some stuff about y'all. I'm learning some shit and some stuff about y'all. I'm just saying. Is Tosh still here? Before I move on. Tashana's next. Because I know it's almost midnight where she's at. There she is. I just messed up my nose ring. That really hurt. I don't like it. Of course. You, just like I said a while ago, I don't remember if it was Shannon or who I was saying to, Shonda, about delivering stuff to the astral. You do the same thing. You do the same thing. You deliver things to the astral, and I'm going to put that in air quote because I think you deliver things. I think you deliver messages. I think you deliver people. I think you deliver all kinds of stuff, and not just in our mutual friend, but I think that there are pieces that people leave with you of themselves, and I think that you take them there. You're like an astral courier. The reason I think that there's an interesting little spot right here that doesn't look anything like the rest of this. It's like the weirdest little, it's cool, but it's the weirdest little spot. But because this comes from this point right here is over this, the Vandanite. I can't ever say it right. Anyway, it's over the focus and the stamina, but it comes up around that, way down here, out into the void and back up. It skirts this little place here and it ends up here. And this is that stone that's, 400,000 years old, or the fossils are that old. But it comes across this. I know that you and I have talked a lot about being around people at their end. We'll just say it that way. Y'all all know what I'm talking about when I say that, but we have to talk in code on the talk tick. At their end. And I think that you are around more people. I think even the people that you're around, that it's not at their end, but maybe someone very close to them. It's almost like there's a little piece that has to still be delivered to the astral. And that's what you do. It's almost like you gather them all up. And when you have a certain number or an overwhelming amount, sometimes then you take them all. You don't just take them one by one. It's like you take them in a group over every single time. It's almost like somebody's giving you tokens. Like you're taking these tokens and taking them to the astral. Because it's not, they don't know it. It's not a physical part of them. It's not part of their ghost or their spirit. It's literally like a token, and you take it back over. It's almost like taking tickets for a train. Does that make sense? It's almost like taking tickets for a train. And then when you're done, when you've taken all the tickets for that particular time, then you have to take them and put them, not put them, and catalog them. I think I may have mentioned before to you that this is probably your last go around, yeah? Yeah, like the coin for the River Styx. I think I've mentioned to you before that I think this is your last go around on this big old rock, yeah? In a meat sack. I think that you've been in training. Yeah, you're excited. I think that you've been in training for a specific position. And I think that it's why you have a very innate ability to see all about someone by just laying eyes on them. Does that make sense? You lay eyes on someone in person, on camera, and it's like you instantly know everything you need to know about them. I think that this life as Tosh, I think you've been training for a very specific position. I mean, you did say you wanted a new job. You did say you wanted a different job. You were manifesting a different job. I just don't think you realize how different this job is. In a second if you want them around or not. Or, yeah. Yeah. I think that you've kind of been in training in between your probably last 2 to 5 different lives for this job and this place right there. Shoot me a message later, Tosh. You have my number. Shoot me a message and I'll tell you exactly what it is. I'll probably voice text it to you, actually. I don't feel like it needs to be typed in text. Yeah, shoot me a text. I can't wait to do these readings again. I know I've still got like 4 more. I can't wait to do these again. Mm-hmm. Girl, it is why you're exhausted so much. It is why you're exhausted so much. And I'm going to voice message you. You're going to understand why. You're going to understand why. Just saying. Just saying. All right. I almost don't want to move it. I almost didn't want to move it. All right, Alyssa is next. All right then. All right then. Alyssa, you are so analytical, it's not even funny. The sheer amount of stubborn stamina that you have. The sheer amount of stubborn stamina that you have. I'm here for it. I think it's awesome. But this is yeah. I do think what's interesting is this just skirts that right there. It just touches it and goes on. It just boop and goes on about its way. I would not be surprised to know that you have not been super interested in past life stuff. You might get interested and then like, and then you get interested and you're like, there is something past life wise that I don't think you're ready to talk about in the Alyssa meat sack that you're in right now. I think that you are one of those people that to deal with depression or trauma or hurt or whatever, you throw yourself into work or a project. You don't sit still. You don't want to listen to bullshit. I would bet you don't even like dramas on TV. You want to watch action or cartoons or whatever. You just don't. You stay completely away from it. You gave yourself a very busy life, my friend. Yes. You gave yourself an insanely busy time around. This is going to sound weird when I say it, but everybody has a life that is like this, and that is a busy work life where all of the stuff you're doing seems like busy work, but you're knocking a ton of little things off your list. So when I say off your list, I want you guys to think of past lives and reincarnation like going to school. So when you're in kindergarten, you got to learn certain things, second grade, certain things, fifth grade, certain things. And then once you start to get, up into high school, you have a list of curriculums and credits you have to have so you can graduate. You don't got to keep coming back. And then if you decide to go to college, same thing. You have lists of things that you have to know and learn and so on. So in every one of those years, right? In every one of those school years, you have specific things you have to do, you have to learn. And then other times it just seems like it's busy work, but it's shit you actually needed to know. Like everybody's like, why do I need English class? I don't need to do predicates and conjunctions but you do. So you thought it was busy work, but you do know how to do that, right? You thought that learning basic multiplication was busy work, but you do have to use it a lot, right? So the life that you're in right now, you gave yourself a lot of the busy work. And I keep putting that in air quotes because I don't mean it badly. I mean that you're knocking off a whole bunch of these things off your list. And this time around, as Alyssa, you're knocking off a crazy amount of little small things on your list. So this is why you feel like your life right now is always something. And I would bet that comes out of your face a lot. Oh my God, it's always something. It's always something, because it is. It is. It's always something. It's always something that you're having to deal with, to let go of, to solve, to fix, to whatever it is. Because the way this ribbon fell, it's just barely skirting the top or the in between. It's so funny. All the rest of them were, it doesn't go down in between any of these. It's just sitting on top of everything. So it's still getting the job done, but it's not this deep, intense thing. However, you have a crazy amount of stamina and focus over here. Like this whole area is covered. Nothing is over on the epido with the cleansing. So I mean, my advice is going to be to do that at least once a week. Make sure that you're cleansing everything at least once a week. This right here, I want to talk about this because this does come over here, skirts that, and goes back out. And it is specifically by this really gorgeous line of quartz and this big line of like pyrite and stuff right there. Be careful what comes out of your face. The things that you say, you bring it to you. The stubbornness, the focus that I was teasing you about, the stamina and everything, you bring things in almost immediately. But the problem is you don't understand. I don't think it's understand. That's the wrong word. You haven't learned yet how to words that stuff into staying. So you feel like good things come in and then things go right back out. It's almost like you're manifesting money and you just want a little bit of a cushion. It's not for anything specific. You manifest some money, you get $500 in, and then suddenly your car's radiator explodes and there's $500 right back out. Like, you've got to learn how to bring the stuff in and keep it, or at least not give all of it right back out. I just want you to remember as you're kind of going through life and it seems like it's always something. It seems like there's never a dull moment. This is knocking so much stuff off your list. It's like you're taking all AP classes this time around. That's exactly what this is like. Just a bunch of teeny tiny little AP classes, but you're taking all the AP classes this time around. This is going to sound weird, but I hope that it resonates when I say it. I think you chose correctly. I think you chose correctly. I think you did a good job. I think you're doing a good job. I think you're doing a great job. And I think that I don't think you made a deal to come and cut some time off of the of the schoolwork, I think that you came willingly, and I think that you came to knock a whole bunch of little stuff off your list. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I know it's hard to see those things when you're in the current meat sack, but I think you're doing a fantastic job. More than you realize. More than you give yourself credit for. Just saying. Does that make sense? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Don't be too hard on yourself. I will say that by working on the words that you're using with manifestation to bring those things in and keep them, to bring those things in and keep them, I think it's going to make a massive difference. So that's my advice, is just start really paying attention how you're framing your thoughts when you're manifesting something. And I would start with, I would love to have $100, and I'm happy to spend 50 of it. Does that make sense? I'm happy to spend 60 of it. I'm happy to spend 40 of it. Make it around half, and then start whittling that down. Like, I would like to keep all of it. I will spend $10. You know, I would start there. Like, let's make a deal. You bring me this and I'll give you some of it, but not all of it. Well, where are you going, Sam? All right, Callie, you ready? Well, okay then. I didn't see if Callie was still here or not. Literally is just like right in a nice little bow. It's interesting too, because it literally, if I were to pull this, would tie itself in a knot. Callie. I would say not magic is a thing, and not magic is a talent of yours. And if you guys don't know that not magic is a thing, we need to have a class, because not magic is an amazing thing. The other thing I love about this is that you 100% are an energy well, Callie. The fact that this comes around, and I mean, it literally, it has a big, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Has a beginning and an end, but there's an infinity in the middle. You can do whatever it is you want. I think that you have infinite potential. I think that you came here this time around, and the reason that you aren't quite sure what you want to do when you grow up is because you didn't come here with something specific in mind. You didn't come here, okay, you need to be this, so you can do this, so you can have this kid, or so you can save this person, or you didn't come here with specific things in mind like that. Not at all. In fact, what you came here to do was to be in so many places that it's almost mind-blowing. It's not like traveling and you need to just be a gypsy. It's not like that. But you're an energy well. You're meant to move around and spread that energy out. This is why you're always drawn to places and jobs, people, situations, etc., where it's very low energy. Where it's very low energy. And no matter what happens, you always end up bringing energy into that place. So let's say that you take a job and everybody's like, why would you want to work there? Like, it's a terrible, like, why would you want to work there? It's a terrible job, or it's a boring job, or whatever, but you love it. You're there for a year or a couple years or whatever, and then you move on. And in that time that you're there, the energy that you bring into a place raises the vibration of that place the entire time. And it doesn't go back down just because you leave. Now, it can go back down if somebody shitty comes in, but it doesn't go back down just because you leave. Not only are you able to help soften a lot of really hard shit for people, but you're also able to give them, grant them more stamina, more focus, etc. Girl, you're also, I would say, a master at transmutation. Anybody can learn transmutation. Anybody can learn how to transmute anything into anything. And my favorite example and this is an example I've been given a lot lately. My favorite example is, think about if someone were to tell you that you can't do something, what's your immediate reaction? As a human, your immediate reaction is to do the thing. Well, I want to do the thing now. I didn't really want to do it before, but now you told me I can't. So now I'm going to do it. Some people, that's their immediate reaction, but they don't do it. They're like, yeah, but they said not to, so I'm not going to do it. Other people are going to do it, but maybe in secret. And then other people are going to do it right in your face 5 times and give you the t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, they're all in. That's transmutation. By transmuting that anger into fuel to do something else. That's literally transmutation. Callie, you're a master at transmutation. A master at transmutation. Transmuting is easy. It just takes practice. So the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So you start with little bitty things and you start to move up until you get to like the big, big, big things. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Went to 12 different schools, different states, and pioneered the med spa industry. Of course you did. Of course you did, Callie. So as I am saying all of this, what were you thinking? Now that I read that, what were you thinking as I was saying all of this? I always wish that I could see everybody's face when I'm doing these readings. Aw, thank you, Amanda. My nose is itching. Somebody's talking about me. My friend, I think that because of the way this fell, you have such a delicate balance that you have learned how to dance on, if that makes sense. Anybody else knew I was going to yawn. Anybody else that tries to copy you is just going to tie themselves in a knots. Anybody that ever tries to copy you. And I think you've already seen it. I think you've already seen people that try to copy you and they just end up all wadded up in a knot and you just kind of giggle and keep walking. As you should. As you should. I think you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. And I just want you to keep in mind that because you're a master at transmutation and because you're an energy well and because you can't sit still, I think that you are in for a fantastic, fantastic journey. I'm just saying. It's funny the way that this makes the shadow right here. There are people that are instantly going to hate you because you transmute the bad that they're trying to put out. Like they're the ones that are putting the bad out to either take over a place easier or whatever. And you cut that off. So be careful. Make sure you have your protections, physical protections, as well as spiritual protections. Does that make sense? Because that's an intense shadow right there. A very intense shadow on that line. People love you or hate you. Yeah, I bet. I would also bet that people try to use you a lot. A lot. It's funny. There it is. I knew that was coming. I feel like you just needed confirmation. Am I right? I feel like you just needed confirmation. Good. I'm glad I could help. I'm glad I could help. I feel like I need to reiterate the physical protection part. I don't know why. I feel like I need to reiterate the physical protection part. Just saying. Just saying. I must have looked down at just the right time to, you know what? For those of y'all that are just coming in to hang out, gotcha. Okay, Callie. So you kind of understood what I was saying about the physical protection then. Man, that was creepy. Don't be a creep. I'm glad you got that person, mods. Even creeps don't like creeps, y'all. Even creeps don't like creeps. I don't think people realize how bad neurological problems are. Yeah. Yeah, that was odd. You're just going to randomly, that tells me that you are the person that's messaging people, hey, for $5,000 a week, bitch, you give me $5,000 a week. Yep. You ain't gonna though. Oh, shoot. I've got 6 of you in my inbox right now. Oh, that's insane. Okay. I know what you're talking about, Callie. I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's not really a treatment, is there? Like just barely a management? I feel like the vast majority of stuff anymore is just management. I feel like, in my opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. I feel like if they wanted to fix a lot of things, they would. Yeah. I feel like they would. I feel like they could. And I feel like they won't. And that sucks. And I hate that. Because being diabetic is stupid. Because being diabetic is stupid. And I hate it. So yeah. I hate it a lot. All right. Oh, I'm so sorry. I worry about my kiddo all the time. So yeah, it's BS. You don't make money by fixing things. Same goes with cars and houses and, you know. All right. Amy H is next. I've got Amy and Sabrina. And then I need to eat dinner because it's almost midnight. Ready? Okay. See, up here, I love that I could look on there and see that. Amy, I'm going to say this way on purpose. You give everything away. You always will be. You have always been. You always will be that person that you give everybody else focus. You give everybody else abundance. You give everybody else, you cleanse them, you protect them, you walk them through the void, you get them around the hardships. You don't manifest for them, but you help them do it. You teach them how to do it. Like you give everything away to everybody. Not everybody. To your people. I'll just say that. I think that you are one of those people that you are a powerhouse as far as stamina goes. You are absolutely a powerhouse as far as stamina goes. Not saying you're going to go out and run 10 miles tonight before you go to bed, but you are one of those people that it doesn't matter how tired you are, you just keep on. You keep on and you keep on and you keep on and you keep on. You have a karmic bond that you've broke in this life. You have two karmic bonds. One that it's not this one over here. I want to talk about this first, and then we're going to talk about the one that's broken. Okay, because this one over here is not meant to be broken. It doesn't need to be broken. This is a soul that I think you are fulfilling a karmic promise to them in this life right now as Amy. I don't know what happened before, but you made a promise that you would always be there for them, and that is what you're doing now. So this is somebody that you've got in your life right now that no matter how hard they struggle, no matter what they're going through, no matter how bad it is, you're always going to be there. You're always going to pick up the pieces. You're always going to help them. You're always going to help them. Period. It doesn't matter what it is. This one over here, however, like this one's awesome. I don't know if this is a friend or a spouse or a kid or a sibling. I don't know what this is, but this is someone that the two of you are tied together like this. You're so welcome, Callie, honey. The two of you are tied together like this, and you're going to have people that tell you, oh, I can't believe that you're still doing that for them or whatever. You promised. You made a karmic promise to them, and I love that you're still holding on to it. It's not meant to be broken. And I don't know why I need to say this way, but apparently I do. There is the big reward for this upcoming. So you holding up your end of the bargain, you holding up that promise, there's the big reward coming for that. This one over here was supposed to be broken. And I think it's almost like you traded one for the other. It's interesting. This one over here was just, it's almost like someone tried to super glue themselves to you and you were able to break it. There was no dissolving. It was breaking it. What's interesting about this one too? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope that you learn the correct spelling of Yemaya or Yahweh or whatever it was. I mean, you can't really rebuke someone if you don't know the right way to rebuke. It's just like trying to exorcise a demon. If you don't know the right phrases in Latin, like that demon's going to laugh at you. So, I mean, I'm just saying. Amy, I think that this one right here, it's just like, you know how a lot of times people will say, well, you can dissolve super glue or, you know, whatever, and it just eventually let go. No, you broke it. Like you pulled so hard that it snapped. And I think that it surprised this other person. I think that they felt you were always going to just be there and do whatever. And you snapped that. And I'm just going to say I'm really proud of you for that. I am really, really proud of you for that. This one over here, I'm also proud of you for. I am also really proud of you for. What I also find interesting is even though this goes way down around, this one up here, it just kind of skips through the tops. Like the only one it goes down next to is right there and right there. But it just skips through the tops of them up here. Amy, I also think that you're somebody that you hold the keys to a lot of doors. And I mean that trying to think of the best way to explain it without being completely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Someone that holds the keys to a lot of doors, can easily open doors, portals, roads for other people. But you also have the ability to kind of see into other timelines. I think that if you were to really focus on this, and if you were to do a lot of, I'm going to say personal training, we'll say it like that on purpose. And I'm happy to explain this to you more. If you were to do a lot of training with this, you could easily shift some things timeline wise, or learn some things from other timelines that would help you here. And for those of you guys that are like, that's not a thing, it's a thing. It's a thing. It is 100% a thing. Just saying. – 100% a thing. I mean, that's what glasses do, sugar, is they reflect. They don't know what you're trying to see up here. You should be looking right there. It's not hard to do. Just saying. Especially when you're looking to find information. If you're just looking to find information, that's easy cheese. That is super easy cheese. Just saying. I'm just saying. I always feel like when I'm done with a reading, I need to be like, did that make sense? Did that make sense? It's different when I can't see y'all's faces. You know what I mean? Like if I can see your face, I can be like, yeah. But I am going to say again, Amy, if you have any questions about that, I mean, you know where to find me. You know where to find me. Good. I'm glad it makes sense. I'm glad it makes sense. Camille and I were talking earlier. All of the scales of Saturn workings will go out they'll go out Tuesday. I was going to say tomorrow, but tomorrow's Sunday on a holiday weekend. So they'll go out Tuesday. So that'll be on its way to you. All right. Sabrina is my last one for the evening. Woo, you did not see that. Sabrina, I was kind of tracing this with my finger. It's interesting that you have the big curve way down here, but it touches this one, it touches this one, touches this one, touches this one. And it doesn't even quite, I mean, if I drew a line straight down, it's still that far away from the epido. Cleansing is going to be a big thing for you. And I feel like I need to start there because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that isn't working correctly for you right now. Things that used to work, things that used to, you could light a candle and shit would happen like this. Things that used to work are not working, like it's broken. Cleansing is a thing, a big thing. And I know that sounded stupid when I said that, but we forget, myself included, all of us forget. We think that, oh, you know what, I'll just light this incense and it'll be fine. I'll smudge the house next week or whatever, it'll be fine. We all kind of put it off, and it's needed more than ever. The reason that you guys, Sabrina and everybody else listening, because if you're listening right now, chances are you probably need to hear this. The reason that y'all feel like your cleansings, the things you used to do, aren't working as well anymore, if at all, is because they're not. Think of how kind of underground the pagan community really was until TikTok became a thing. Were there still witchy people out there? Yes. Were there still pagan groups out there? Yes. Were there still, occult practices and stuff rampant? Yes. But it wasn't mainstream until TikTok came around. Now you have people that just thought about dabbling are full on in it. There are people that are only doing it for the wrong reasons, full on in it. There are people that I don't even know what the hell they think they're doing that are full on in it. But now you have so many hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people, that are doing it all the time on a daily basis. So regular cleansings like you used to do, just lighting some incense in your house, or cleansing your floors, or, cleansing a ritual bath, changing your sheets, all those little things aren't working as well anymore, because it's almost like the spiritual currents have just gotten muddy. Because, yeah, Shajar is right, mostly for the wrong reasons. I can't stress the importance of that enough for you, Sabrina, because it's touching literally every other piece but that. Your focus is coming back. I felt like I needed to say it that way on purpose. I think that you are coming out of a spot where you have been disconnected completely. You felt like you had no focus, you had no stamina, you had no drive, you had no, like, nothing. You know how there's the videos and the stuff. I mean, and I've even said it and made a video and stuff too. I told the trees, I told the river, you need to go tell the astral. You need to go tell the astral, because this big loop right here is one of the biggest. You can't see it because it's pointing at you guys, but this is one of the biggest points on this entire piece, and it's got a huge record keeper right there. You need to go tell the astral. I'm glad that made sense. You need to go tell the astral. You have friends there and you know it. You have friends there, you have colleagues there, and you know it. You need to go tell the astral. The other thing I'm going to recommend is this. Pyrite is going to be your friend right now. I don't know. Normally I would say lodestone. Everybody needs a lodestone, but pyrite is going to be your friend right now. Big time. I would be putting pyrite strategically around your space. And I want you to think of it like, do you ever see, I think they did it in one of the Mummy movies, and then there's a couple other ones where in different pyramids they had the big huge plates, and they would turn them a certain way and it would reflect the light and light up the whole cavern. You need to look at pyrite like that for your space right now. You need to look at pyrite like that. I also would recommend, because this goes down underneath right there, I also would recommend you doing a little bit of the guided past life meditations. And I think that will explain to you why you're coming out of this space where you felt like you were cut off from everything. I don't think that it had a crazy amount to do with past lives. Yes and no. It didn't. I think that the past life that comes up during the meditations, because I think it'll come up probably 3 different times, I think that you're going to see a lot of parallels in what's going on. I don't know if it's a karmic bond, or a karmic promise or tie or whatever the hell it is. Not on your part, at least. I think that maybe somebody else tried to and it backfired. Did you have somebody try to do a love working on you? Did you have someone try to like do something to manipulate you into being in a relationship? Like, I legit feel like, I don't know why, I feel like that there was something there where someone tried to do a love working to manipulate you. Not that you know of. Good. It's a nagging feeling and I don't like it. I would do a little bit of a return to sender hybrid mirror spell. I'm sure you have botanicas around there where you could find one, or I mean, if you wanted to pay more for it, you could order on Amazon, but they have the black and red reversal candles, or if you wanted to, the chime candles, just get a red one and a black one, put them in hot water, get the water really hot, put them in hot water, let them sit for a minute until they're kind of pliable, and then just twist them together, and then light them. But I would do that in front of a mirror and just return whoever was trying to send that, but make it very clear that you want to know who it is, because I really feel like that's a thing. And I feel like when that was rejected, rebuffed a little bit, because it didn't stick, that I think that it pissed them off. And that's another reason. I think that you've had somebody fucking with you. Are you married? Are you in a relationship now? Or are you single? Okay. I'm just saying, I would do that. And I would see who pops up. I don't think it has anything to do with your relationship now. I'm just saying. Like, I don't think your spouse now did it. Let me say that. Let me say it that way. Yeah. I would make you a little twisted red and black candle and go from there. Put it in front of a mirror. It doesn't have to be ornate either. Like, if you can't really do crazy witchy stuff, because of the spouse or whatever, just set up some cute little display with some candles. That makes sense, Sabrina. I know that was a lot. And at the end there, it got a little intense. And yeah. But did that make sense? It was nagging at me to ask. So I was like, you know what? Let's just ask. Talking to the astral makes sense. Good. 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 Just saying. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have to let me know how that goes. Just, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I am going to get off of here since I have been reading for about 4 hours now. I'm going to go eat some foodie foods. And I'm going to go put on some ugly sweatpants, take my makeup off. I'm going to do ugly sleep tonight because I need ugly sleep. Everybody needs ugly sleep. Just saying. All right, guys. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Go get some sleep.